going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know, over the last week or so, they've been talking a lot about the Epstein documents, the client list that came out. It came out right before the whole Miami situation with the aliens, but one of the things that happened is Aaron Rodgers called out Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel didn't like that. So that's why you see the title of this video, because he got really upset. Let's dive into a little bit exactly what happened, what they talked about, and why Jimmy Kimmel was so mad about this.
Look at him, fellas.
You
crying, boy? You crying, boy? Maybe we'll go back down to McDonald's and get you a Lamburger and some French fries. You little sissy boy!
Yeah, he is ridiculous. He is ridiculous.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. I promise you I am not in hiding. I am not scared of Jeffrey Epstein's list being released. I am not in Jeffrey Epstein's cell right now, and I'm not suicidal. We are doing business meetings, and so I'm outside of the studio at the beginning of the year. I am very excited about Jeffrey Epstein's list being released, by the way. I am very excited. It may actually happen today. Now, don't hold your breath. It feels like Groundhog's Day. People have been saying it'll happen all the time. But here's the report, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news: Jeffrey Epstein's list will be released. First names dropping today. Jane Doe, 107 others will remain secret for 30 days. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll jump right into this and all of the breaking news about the Epstein list. But the question remains, a question that...
So remember what happened? This already dropped. So this video must be after it already happened. I mean, before it already happened, because remember, it already dropped, but it wasn't a list at all. It was just some transcript documents, remember? And there was some speaking of Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, but nobody was named to have done anything wrong. So this wasn't the client list that came out. We just thought it was. Let's keep going.
That we've asked multiple times, really the foremost question of our power and political elite right now in this country, which is, why protect a dead pedophile? You know, he's dead and he's a predator. And if you were his associate or one of his clients, then you did the crime, you got to do the time, right? You got to let the chips fall where they may. Why are so many powerful people, including Bill Barr of the Trump administration, protecting him? Why are so few people willing to answer questions? Why are Democrats currently actively attempting to block more information from coming out from Jeffrey Epstein? Of course, you know the answers to all of that. First, the breaking news: the names will be released on a rolling basis in the Southern District of New York. Jane Doe, 107, and 2 others will retain anonymity for another 30 days. Bill Clinton is among those to be expected to be named in the documents. Alan Dershowitz said being named doesn't equate to committing a crime, so people are now beginning to panic. You're beginning to panic because now, based on a lawsuit that's been filed by one of the Epstein victims against Ghislaine Maxwell, who's still alive, therefore you can still sue her. She's in federal white-collar penitentiary lockup right now. These names will be public. A judge has ordered them to be public. We know exactly who's going to appear on these names. Bill Clinton's one of them. Bill Clinton's office responds to Jeffrey Epstein document release with U.S. District Judge Loretta Preska, who decided to release the names in December 2023. That announcement was made last month. They were supposed to be made public on January 1. That didn't happen. We continue to wait for them to be made public. President Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes of Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, yeah, Judge, sure. You know absolutely. Look at this photo.
Oh, man.
Nothing. Sure, gotcha. What was on that giant monitor, Bill? Somebody explain that to me.
Turn it off.
Why'd you fly on his plane 27 times, Bill? This has very much like I did not have sex with that woman vibes to it. But let's continue to read. President Clinton knows nothing about the terrible crimes Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to in Florida some years ago, or those with which he has been recently charged in New York. In 2022 and 2023, President Clinton took a total of 4 trips on Jeffrey Epstein's airplane: 1 to Europe, 1 to Asia, 1 to Africa, included some stops and connections. Worked with Clinton Foundation. Okay. Staff, supporters of the foundation, and Secret Service detail traveled on every leg of this trip. He had 1 meeting with Epstein in his Harlem office in 2002, and around that same time made a very brief visit to Epstein's New York apartment with a staff member and security detail. Because all these things are lies. This is what's very interesting about all this. Like, all this stuff is lies. Bill Clinton, who will be named as John Doe 36 when the list is made public, flew on his plane many times, 27 to be exact, according to the flight logs. Flight logs don't lie. Epstein also had a bizarre painting of Bill Clinton in dress in his townhome.
Why?
Why would you, if this was just like some dude that you went to dinner one time with, why would you have this painting made? Why would you have this official portrait done of Bill Clinton wearing the famous blue dress with his DNA on it, pointing at the viewer. This was hanging on the inside of Jeffrey Epstein's house. This was the first thing you saw. So when Bill Clinton walked in for dinner, this is the first thing he saw. What does this mean? This means I got you. I got you. That's what it means. And this is Jimmy Kimmel with Jeffrey Epstein's personal chef.
Oh.
Jimmy Kimmel has connections to Jeffrey Epstein, and Jimmy Kimmel is now in full-scale panic mode. Jimmy Kimmel is in panic mode because multiple powerful people are saying that his name is going to be on this list, including quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers says that he's going to pop a bottle when the Epstein Associates list are released and Jimmy Kimmel's name is named. Everyone is very, very excited. There's a lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, that are really going to hope that it doesn't come out. This is great. Jimmy Kimmel responding to this, having a seething, searing panic attack. First, let's watch the clip of Aaron Rodgers going straight base.
To do with the
So yeah, Jimmy Kimmel obviously didn't like this. He doesn't want his name to be named in it, and why would you want to? Especially when you're working, you're alive, you got a lot going on. You don't want to be in the company of these kind of things. Mostly, I think, because even though he has that celebrity status, he has that celebrity, what that aura, whatever you want to call it. He's not a former president like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's got Secret Service. He might have presidential immunity with some things. There might be some other factors that will basically wash it away for him. I don't think the bad talk would wash away for Jimmy Kimmel, personally. Now, this is just my opinion on all of this and why he may have freaked out about what Aaron Rodgers said. Because he's, like I said, he's not like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton and Jimmy Kimmel aren't on the same level. There's levels to this, and they're not on the same level. Let's hear what Aaron Rodgers had to say about this.
Epstein list that came out.
Feels like
That's supposed to be coming out soon.
Look, this guy's been
There's
waiting
a
in
lot
his
of
wine
people-
cellar.
Yeah.
I've been waiting in my wine cellar for this thing.
Literally in the wine cellar.
A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't come out.
All right.
There it is.
Obviously, a clip from this particular program was run on Jimmy Kimmel's show whenever Aaron brought up the list, and then Jimmy mocked him for it. Aaron has not forgotten about that, but here we are, sitting right in front of that nice bottle of scotch. What do you say? I'm waiting to celebrate something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been waiting
That's
for
the one.
You've been waiting for
Hey, I'll tell you what, if that list comes out, I definitely will be popping some sort of bottle.
Hey,
He'll be popping bottles when Jimmy Kimmel's name is on the list. Jimmy Kimmel responding with a seething, searing, apoplectic meltdown
Here we go.
on X. For the record, dear asshole, for the record, by the way, this is Jimmy Kimmel responding from his official account. It's got 11 million followers. Dear asshole, for the record, I've not met, flown with, or visited, or had any connection whatsoever with Epstein, nor will you find my name on any lists, quote unquote, other than the clearly phony nonsense that soft-brain wackos like yourself can't seem to distinguish from reality. Your reckless words put my family in danger. It's me. I'm the victim.
I'm the victim.
Amazing how it works like that. I'm the victim. Every time. Jimmy Kimmel's victim. Feel upset for the multi-rich, fat, millionaire white guy who lives in the Hollywood Hills. Feel bad for me. I'm the victim. Keep it up, and we will debate the facts further in court. Aaron Rodgers.
See you in court.
Threatening to sue Aaron Rodgers. Oh my God. Dude, bring it into my veins, ladies and gentlemen. People are excited for this drop again. It does feel like
It didn't
Groundhog
happen.
Day. We're a couple days into January, and there still is no list. It was supposed to drop on January 1st. So what else do we know about this exchange? The funniest part about this is basically this is what Jimmy Kimmel did to Trump about Russia collusion, which is kind of interesting.
Well,
So, that's a great take because Jimmy Kimmel, all of his jokes are, of course, based on the fact that Trump is a Russian agent and Tucker Carlson is a Russian agent, and we're all Russian agents, and I'm the paragon of democracy. Yeah. The number of fake, malicious, fraudulent, and libelous, slanderous, defamatory segments that Jimmy Kimmel. Have you ever
There's
watched
so
this
many,
guy's show?
yeah.
You shouldn't, but have you? Nobody really does watch it, by the way, if you check the ratings. But have you ever watched it? That's all Jimmy Kimmel does. So he can't take a single drop of his own medicine.
Of course not.
Now, I have no idea if Jimmy Kimmel's name's on the list. I sit here and I will wait for the list to Trump, and when it drops, I will report it out for you. What's interesting also is that ABC owns ESPN, where where ABC. So Disney owns ESPN and ABC.
Jeez.
ABC has Jimmy Kimmel's show on it, and ESPN, of course, is platforming Aaron Rodgers. Corporate media is not going to be asking any questions about Aaron Rodgers' role in the Pat McAfee show. ESPN declines to comment.
Of course.
Oh man, I love it. So Jimmy Kimmel lied. This is going to come as no shock.
Because he's friends with the associate and former private chef, so lie. But why lie? Well, like I said earlier, that might be the reason why. If you're caught up in things that you're not supposed to be caught up in, and you're doing things that you know the world would look at as a terrible thing, of course you would lie to save face. Also, my big question, which has always been, I'm glad he said this, because I've been wondering, are there people that are actually staying up to watch late night Jimmy Kimmel? Like, are people really watching that show? Sorry if you are, but anyway.
Shock to you. Jimmy Kimmel is close friends with Jeffrey Epstein's associate, former private chef. Kimmel recently called Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers a conspiracy theorist for wanting to know the names on Epstein's client list. But it turns out that Jimmy Kimmel does have a connection to Jeffrey Epstein. So that's kind of interesting. The guy's name is Adam Lang. And Lang and Kimmel, I'm sorry, correct. Adam Perry Lang is the name of Epstein's private chef, who cooked for him and his and on his island. The connection between Kimmel, Lang, and Epstein was uncovered by internet sleuths. Lang is seen in a number of posts on Kimmel's Instagram, including most recently the pair being at the Oscars behind the scenes, as well as another post at the Super Bowl.
So they know each other.
In 2019, Eater reported that Lang confirmed that he worked for the controversial sex offender in the early 2000s when some of his horrible acts were ongoing. Of course, he kept up this thing for this entire sick witches kitchen demonic activity on his private island and in his private residence for 20 years. The feds did not put him in jail. Nobody knows why. He was convicted, by the way, in 2008 for being a sex predator, but nobody did anything. He was let go with a slap on the wrist and allowed to continue. And Bill Clinton knew this, and Bill Gates knew this, and they not only became better friends with them, they did more trips with him after his conviction for being a sex predator. What does that tell you? Everything you need to know.
He knew a lot of powerful people.
20 years ago, a young chef, I was hired to work for Jeffrey Epstein. The chef says in a statement, my role was limited to meal preparation. I was unaware of the depraved behavior and have great sympathy and admiration for the brave women who come forward. Yeah, okay.
Sure, right. Yep. Get yourself out of it.
Nothing.
Right.
Well, there you go.
That helps.
And there you go. And there's your connection, ladies and gentlemen. There's your connection. And now the chef is cooperating with the feds on sex ring investigation. Well, that's interesting.
I bet.
So not only is this guy have a connection, he's also federally involved in the criminal allegations against Jeffrey Epstein. A little inconvenient there for you, Jimmy Kimmel. Very inconvenient indeed. What will the list actually end up showing? Let's check it out.
This list finally get her to speak out on her time with Epstein and others involved. Remember, she's always been quiet. Her lawyer here is laughing, shaking his head. We're going to get to him in a second. Will she finally turn on her former lover? Let's ask Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer, Arthur Idola. Thanks for being with us, Arthur. So, I mean, you just told me you talk to Ghislaine almost every week. You know, is she going to start talking?
No. Well, I don't think she has anything to talk about, except maybe that if you look at this crime, this overall crime, it's all about men abusing women for a long period of time, a lot of men. That's what we're waiting for this list. And there's only one person in jail, a woman. It's not one guy behind bars for all of these crimes, this sex trafficking.
She brought him the women. The girl, I should say women, young girls, right?
First of all, she is absolutely, unequivocally denying all of that. She always has. And what's interesting is the woman who this lawsuit surrounding, this list is coming out, who you just heard Professor Dershowitz speaking about, Virginia Giuffre. She didn't testify at the trial. She didn't testify in the trial, the criminal trial, against Ghislaine Maxwell. So, no, Ms. Maxwell's got nothing to say to anyone. She's had ample opportunity. She's been in prison for quite some time now. It's not a pleasant place to be. She's had ample time to come out and speak, but she's got nothing to speak of.
It just seems like she's so loyal to him. Like, why not
I don't think she's
naming names?
I don't think she's loyal to him. I think she's loyal to herself. I think she's loyal to the facts. I think she's loyal to the truth. And look, I was a prosecutor. I am a criminal defense attorney. A lot of these cases take on lives of their own, and people start believing things that aren't.
So there's one thing that this clear scumbag said that is, I do believe, actually true. Ghislaine Maxwell does belong in prison, but also all of the Epstein associates belong in prison, and the people who were Epstein's clients belong in prison. It's one thing to lock up the drug dealer, but you also should lock up the people who are buying the drugs. Like, they're all committing crimes, okay? So if Epstein was, in fact, the PSYOP, Intel agent, Mossad agent, drug dealer that was hoovering up enormous amounts of blackmail information on the world's elites and then using it to blackmail them and to leverage certain policy prescriptions for the...
Is that what happened, though? I think that the thing that's going on with this is that people don't know what happened. There's only speculation. They got one guy, they got Epstein, but then they don't know what happened with all the other people. How were the other people involved? What were they doing there? Were they just there to have a party? Was it party? Was it drinking? Was it some other stuff? No, there hasn't been enough, you know what I mean? So when the client list comes out, when it finally does come out, and it's going to have some people's names on it, will we even really know what they were doing? What are they clients of, you know? Maybe you want to say it in the comments, but I think that's it there.
CIA, the FBI, or for, again, Israeli intelligence, whatever it was, and we sure would like to know, that would be very interesting, what the actual game was with Jeffrey Epstein. Whatever it was, his clients deserve to be in prison as well. Okay, Jeffrey Epstein gets killed, Ghislaine Maxwell goes to jail. What happens to all the people who were users, as they say? Ghislaine Maxwell claims she will have nothing to say about Jeffrey Epstein as a list of almost 200 associates, disgraced socialist fumes, that she's the only one in jail when it's all about men abusing women. Okay, fine. Start speaking. Start talking.
Say something, yeah.
Sing like a canary.
Tell on them.
You got nothing to lose.
Right.
You're in federal lockup for, I think, a very long time.
Exactly. What is that?
Ghislaine Maxwell never thought she'd go to prison. She thought she had the get out of jail free card, the little black book. Well, time to start talking, lady. We are very excited because there should be, and it feels like there's an energy shift right now happening.
There is.
And the paradigm shift is that powerful people who thought they were untouchable are being held accountable. The Clintons think they're untouchable. The Clintons founded the Clinton Foundation. When you hear the Clinton Global Initiative, that's a Jeffrey Epstein founded organization. They still ride that coattails. The Clintons still use that for money laundering. This was all set up by Jeffrey Epstein. And so, his legacy lives on today. And lives on today in the human trafficking that the Biden administration is doing, the open border, and so forth. It is sick, it is depraved, and it's time for people to actually face accountability for what they've done.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, and like you said there, 2024 is going to be the year, guys. It's going to be the year that a lot of things happen. The only reason I say why, I mean, we see right in the beginning of the year, Cat Williams comes out busting out the bando. He's got all kind of information. He's talking about stuff. He's attacking everybody on every, not to say that he's attacking them in a way that promotes lies, but he's attacking them and it's happening. He's talking about things that have never been said before. The same thing is going on with this client list. If and when this ever does come out, this is definitely going to drop, and I think it's going to happen this year. 2024 is the year. It's the year of awakening. It's the year of whatever you want to call it, but somebody is getting called out this year. It's definitely happening. We just got to wait and see. Guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, leave your comments below. Let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next one right here.